Okay. Hey, Demi.
Hey,
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. You are watching Dating Differently with
Dammy.
and Dr. Conti. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Share, share, share. Let everyone know that we are on. We got a real doozy for you today. We are going to be talking about being ready, willing, and able. Ready, willing, and able. So, as you know, the both of us have combined our expertise to create a strategic roadmap so that we can help you first prepare, get ready for healthy love, and so that you can confidently choose with clarity and be able to sustain the right relationship. So, we're excited about being here today, and we are going to be talking about, are you really, really ready? You know, a lot of people say they're ready, but I don't know. I mean, they say they're ready, but and the funny thing about it is, I'll ask this question: have you ever met someone who wanted love but just wasn't actually prepared for a healthy relationship, or for perhaps maybe you have realized that you yourself weren't ready as you thought you were. So, one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that because someone wants to be in a relationship, that they're actually prepared for one. And so, wanting love and being prepared for love is two completely different things. Demi, you love the saying. You started the saying of being, they got to be ready, willing, and able. And I'm like, you are so right. That's a whole different ball game. Being able to be ready, willing, and able. So what do you say about that?
You said it. Being completely prepared mentally to go into a relationship. Um, when you're willing, they're eager, they're enthusiastic, they're excited about it, they're ready to put that work in. And
Mm-hmm.
then just their ability, they have the capacity or the
Mm-hmm.
skills to do that, which is some of the things that we coach on. And, I'll put the example out there just to show you, like you said, someone says they're ready for love or they're ready for a relationship, right? And um, they're able to, and I'll just say able because they're single.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't married. They aren't in any other type of relationship. Um, but they're really not willing to put the work into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we're talking about other folks, but I just love when you talk about be the cake. I know you have a new book that's out with that. I want you to talk a little bit about that because before we go out to speak about anyone else to see if they're ready, we have to make sure that we're innocent, that we're ready for a relationship because that makes all the difference in the world.
It does. It does. It makes all the difference in the world. And so many times, again, we say we want this kind of person and that type of person, but are you that type of person? I always say like attract like, healthy attract healthy, sick attract sick. So when I talk about being the cake, you're absolutely right. That is becoming ready, willing, and able. That is, if you say you're ready, that's at least doing the work to become willing and to become able,
Mhm.
because it's different things. And so a lot of times that means you may still need to have some healing that need to take place. There may need to be, you may not be emotionally available. When people say they're ready, you want to be emotionally available. You want to be able to date out of a healthy place, which is what being the cake is all about. You right. I just launched a new book. It is online. I will put the link here, and it is to do exactly that, to help you And men don't get, you can get it too, but it's about being a cake. But men can be cake. If you're watching, say hello, hello, hello. But many women want to add icing. You want to add that sweet icing, that perfect Mr. Right
Yeah.
partner, Mr. Right for you partner. But a lot of times it might be end up being Mr. Right now because you haven't done the work yourself. And so you want to make sure that you've forgiven people, you're not holding on to grudges. You are just dating from a healthy place and not from a lonely place. And you truly know what you want. When that happens and you become the cake, then you're ready. And once you're ready, willing, and able, you can easily date differently because you're not in a rush. You're not desperate. You don't have the rose colored glasses on. You are able to sit back, be ready, watch and wait.
Yeah, and people use the words interchangeably, but they're not. Um, I'll go back into it, and I want us to kind of hone in on this because we're hearing ready, willing, and able, and I appreciate the just what you said about being a cake,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not simply being available. Like I said, not married, not in a situationship, and you're emotionally and physically available to date.
Mm-hmm.
But being available doesn't automatically make you ready. Like you said, it just means, are you willing to put in the work? You just said that. Are you willing to communicate? Are
Mm-hmm.
you willing to compromise? Are you willing to heal? Because we're talking about us healing ourselves first. Are
That's
you
right.
willing to be vulnerable? A lot of times you get in relationships and people don't want to go to that vulnerable space when you have to go there in order to grow in the relationship. And are you willing to date with intention? We talk about that all the time instead of just convenience, which is what you just said. And then there's being ready. Being ready, like you just said, have you done the work yourself? Have you done the work yourself that knows that you're prepared to build something healthy and not just experience the chemistry? And
Mm-hmm.
so I appreciate what you just said. I always say dating differently means sometimes asking yourself if your preferences are helping you find love or preventing you from recognizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know one of the things that I hear often from women is, I want a person with integrity. I want a person that's honest and emotionally available, all of those things. But for me, I thought about when we were talking about this, and I know we talked about it a couple of times, and it really was changing the course and doing sometimes things a little differently and dating differently. It just means changing your habits, your mindset, and sometimes changing what you've convinced yourself you're really looking for.
That's right. That's right. I always say I have a joke. It's the truth, but every time I say it, people laugh. They think it's funny, but it's the truth. When I first started to heal and grow and become, I always say self discovery is the best recovery. When I was doing all of this self discovery of myself, I realized, and I talk about this also in Be the Cake, I
Mhm.
had unhealthy habits. And so a part of being ready is recognizing what are those unhealthy habits that you may have. And that could be the type of person you choose. That could be how you operate once you all get together. Are you operating out of, again, money, leading with money? Are you leading with
Mhm.
uh intimacy too quickly? Are you attracted to, he has to be, as we say, six pack, six figures, 6 feet, all that? What are you attracted to? And so, if two guys came in the room, when I learned that some of my unhealthy habits and some of my unhealthy attractions were not getting me where I wanted and what serving me well, if I was attracted to the person that came in the room and he was on the left, I'd look at the one on the right because I'm like, okay, I need to change those patterns. And I need to be able to see what it is about me. Just like I tell my clients, what is it about you? What is that unhealthy habit that you may have had? Sometimes it's not that you might be picking the wrong person. Let's say you pick a person who is ready, willing, and able, but you come out the gate with one of those old unhealthy habits, and you're gonna turn a healthy person away.
You know, when you say that look, and we talked about this too, I want to go deeper because I know exactly what you mean, but I want to take it deeper for um, the audience that's listening. We're not, like you said, not just talking about the way someone looks. Because if two
Mhm.
people walked in the room and they were both 6 feet and both made the six figures or both had the six pack, whatever we call it, right? And they looked exactly the same, you still know at this point which one to turn away from. And this is what we talk about when we're talking about changing the course, right?
Mhm.
One
Mhm.
of the biggest lessons that I've learned, and I know one of the things that we coach is knowing exactly the type. And when we say type, we're not just talking about the way they look. That's one part of it. We're talking about their energy, the essence,
Yes.
the presence of a person, the person that you're naturally attracted to.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
know for me, I'd be like, oh, that's my type. That's my type. That's my
Mhm.
type.
Yeah, you can tell when they walk in the room, their aura, their mood, their you
Right.
can tell, and if it hadn't worked from you before, I don't care how it come in there looking, you might want to run away.
Right. And it's not, and that doesn't look the same in everyone, but the
Right.
energy and the essence, the presence is the same, right? And so you can feel it immediately because it's natural. So what we coach and what you learn initially about yourself is that it's not whatever that aura that comes across that you're naturally attracted to, but you know is unhealthy, you learn how to block that.
Yeah.
It's just like I think the bigger thing is I'll use a man for example, and a beautiful woman walks in. What they portray is beautiful, and you're standing with the woman that you love, right? You're not going to, tongue's not going to drop out of your mouth and your eyes aren't going to bulge and you're not going to jump over in front of them and think they're beautiful. They're beautiful. You may glance and you may say to yourself, right? That's a really beautiful person, but you keep it within. And that's what we talk about when we're coaching, knowing that you know what you're naturally attracted to and what's healthy or not healthy. And then you learn how to just mask that. Just because you recognize it, for me, just because I feel it or I recognize it doesn't mean that I make it available or present it to them so that they realize that.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest part.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I say self discovery is the best recovery, because the more you discover about yourself, the more you're able to recover from those things that you normally would do without even knowing, just automatically do those things. But when you really do self-assessment, you realize some of the things that you have been doing automatically out
Mhm.
of habit, just habitually, that's just my personality, or just who I am. No, it don't need to be.
Right,
It might
right.
not need to be just who you are anymore, particularly if it's something that you've been doing and you see that it's not working. You see that you're still attracting the same type of people, or still having the same type of relationships. You got a different person, different name, but you're having the same type of outcomes.
So let's go back. So you talked about the six pack and 6 feet, right? And I said, thinking about something different because we do talk about we want that person that's honest and the integrity, loyal, emotionally available, communicates well. But we turn around and then we disqualify a man, and I'm saying a man in this case because of his height, because he's shorter than us when we wear heels,
Mm.
or because he's from a different culture, different ethnicity, he doesn't have the profession we think that he should have, or maybe the background isn't exactly what we think. And so I always say, ask yourself, are you really ready for a relationship? Are you ready for that relationship that you say that you want? Are you still attracted to the package you've imagined that it comes in? And so
Mhm.
when I say that, we always say, when you're ready for whatever that package looks like
Mhm.
because it's going to give you everything within it.
Mhm. I remember someone saying, Oh wait, hold 1 second. Someone just asked, Janet just asked, could you explain how unhealthy patterns relate to personal preferences? Um, well, sometimes we're drawn to people based on what we know. Uh,
Mhm.
if your dad, and this is particularly in my case, my dad was an excellent dresser. He was suave, dressed well. So my personal preference is someone that dresses well, but that may disqualify a wonderful man who communicates well, who is consistent. He's honest. He's a giver. He's operating in his masculinity. He wants to take care of his woman and make sure she's good and happy. He's quick to apologize. He's all of those great things. But if my habit is about picking my personal preference, picking someone that dresses well, then that could become an unhealthy habit if it's not proven to be good for me, or counting out somebody that is good for me. Then there are other unhealthy habits. Um, your preference might be someone who is highly sexual. But your unhealthy habit is so are you, and you may be highly sexual or intimate too soon. You may be allowing too much access too soon. So there's a lot of ways that personal preference and unhealthy habits can also cross, and you want to just be careful with that.
And I want to jump in and say, when
Good question.
if you're truly confident and you truly know that you're the cake, then a pair of heels shouldn't determine whether I meet a great man. I'm just going to add that to what you just said. Like sometimes your preferences become your barriers. And that's
Mm-hmm,
exactly what you said. They're not standards, they're not non negotiables.
mm-hmm.
They are really barriers.
Yes, yes, they're just a preference. And I remember someone saying to me, her husband, it was kind of funny, and she was like, "Oh, my husband was everything I asked God for,
Mhm.
everything." She said, but when I thought about it, I was like, "Is he really what I asked God for?" Because he was a white man, and she ended up marrying him, and he was everything she asked God for. She said, "I just forgot to ask him to be black." But had she said, "Well, he's white, I don't want that," she might have missed out on the best love she's ever experienced in her life. She is so happy and said he was everything she had asked for. She just assumed he was going to be a black man, but he wasn't.
I love that, you know,
Mhm.
because the truth really is some people are able, but they're not willing.
Mhm.
They really aren't. Some people are willing, but they're not ready. And
Mhm.
that's exactly how we end up in situationships
Yes.
and transactional relationships,
Mhm.
repeating some of those same unhealthy patterns. That's
Mhm.
exactly how we end up there.
Mhm.
It's changing that course. It's changing the course.
Janet says guilty. Thanks for that. That was helpful. I'm glad. I'm glad. And that's what this is about. And a lot of times you will hear me and Demi say our personal experience. And that is because there's no, this is the no judgment zone here,
Absolutely.
because we've been there, done that, had the t-shirt, sold it, and sometimes went back and got an award again. But we get it. We get it. And so that is what dating differently is all about, is to be able to help each one of us through our personal experience as well as our professional. We both are relationships, certified relationship coaches, and just our personal help as well as our professional help. So you get to get a double whammy from both of us.
I love that. It's like, when I was in college and you have the professors that never worked in the field, but they knew the book guidance. It's always great to have someone who's been out there, they've worked in the field, they've done it, they've
Yeah,
had the experiences, and then they go back and have that classroom experience
yeah,
too.
yeah.
So we talked about just because you're attracted to someone's energy doesn't mean that they're healthy for you. Because again, attraction is just information, is not confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want us to push, which we do, right? you really have to remember the character before chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got a lot of people that will say the right things. Attention is not intention. And
Mhm.
so they will give you all the attention because they may want some access, some type of access from you. And attention is not intention. But the same person who's giving all of that attention, if you needed them, if you were sick, or if you were grieving, or if you were going through something, one of those seasons that we talk about that it take a whole year to check, check a person's personality out,
Yeah.
then you may realize they don't have the right intention, and they're not intentionally into you. They just wanted the attention because the attention may have led to some type of intimacy, or may have led to your bag, or who knows.
And that's why you stop allowing the chemistry to convince you that you already
Mm-hmm.
know someone,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't tell you their character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when we talked about the essence, I go back to that of protecting your real energy, um, protecting that. And
Mm-hmm.
it really is something that you hold deep inside of you. Even when you meet someone you feel is the right person
Mm-hmm.
and you're getting to know them, you got to keep that tucked close to your chest.
Emotional regulation. Being able to have good emotional regulation, taking your time. I always say patience is the weapon that's best revealed deception. You have to be patient because you want to make sure that you're not all into this person so very, very easily, so quickly, and emotionally you're falling, and then you realize this person may not be a bad person, but they are underdeveloped emotionally, and
Yeah,
they're not where you want them to be emotionally. And then you've invested all of those emotions for somebody who's not able to invest the same emotion back.
absolutely. And then learning how to, I think, appreciate someone's presence without giving them my full always attention,
Mm-hmm.
without giving them my excitement, without giving them all that emotional investment. Like you said, it's no, and I shared that about someone incredibly attractive. It's just you learn how to kind of hold some of those things back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you give that once it's been, and I don't want to use that word, so I'm not going to say it. I wanted to say once it's been earned.
Absolutely, I would say that.
So,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
we have all different types of listeners. So how would you say it's earned? Like, without giving it, you don't have to announce it. You don't have to chase it. You just observe it in the same way. But when I say it's earned, it's like it's earned both ways. It goes both ways. Because if it's someone I'm really interested in and they're really quick to throw everything at me, I feel the same way. I haven't earned that much attention. I haven't earned all of that yet. Let's just wait to see what.
And so that's a red flag.
Yeah,
So if that person hasn't earned all of that from you, and they're giving and want to do so much, that's a red flag.
yeah,
That means that maybe that person is just in love with being in
yeah.
love with having a relationship. They may be using gifts as a weapon to attract you or what have you. So yes, patience is the weapon that best reveals deception. And so you want to make sure that yes, you've earned it, because if you haven't and they want to buy you a car, that's a bit too much. You want to you whoa, you see, and you want to make sure that person has earned you your trust before you start giving so much of yourself and so much of your heart. I use this as an example, and I hope this resonates with people. I always say, my Bentley, that's going to be my dream car, my drop top Bentley. So let's just say I got the Bentley today, and I'm
Hmm.
in the gas station, and I see Demi. And Demi say, "Oh, sis, you got it. You got it. Chunk me those keys." Yes, I did. Boop. I'm without hesitation. I'm going to chunk her the keys. Have no problem. I'm going to run in here, grab some candy or bar or whatever, take a spin around the block. No problem. Okay.
Hmm.
Now let's say somebody that I know, maybe a client or somebody that I know, but don't know them like Demi, and they say, "Hey, Doc, you got the car. I'm so happy for you. Chunk me the keys." I'm gonna say, "Yes, I did, girl. Come on, get in this car. Let's go around the block." I'm going to get them a ride around the block. Okay. There's a level of what has been earned. And then let's just say a stranger is standing there and he's like, "Ma'am, that's a bad car. I sure would like a ride down the street, riding that car." Guess what? I'm gonna say, "Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you." He's not getting the keys. He's not even getting in the car because there he hasn't earned that. So why do you give so much so quick for someone who hasn't earned your emotions, your emotional interaction, your heart, your all of that quicker than you would even a piece of metal, a car? It's just a piece of metal, even if it's a Bentley. So
Yeah.
that's just an example of how it has to be earned. There is a level of someone earning the level of how much you tell them, how much you show them, and how much you interact and give to them.
And I like how you said that, but spin that around that we're good friends because we have been vulnerable with each other. And someone who's not willing to do that, to open up, you can't
They
ever
haven't
be
earned it.
close to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about, you think you're in a relationship, you're 4 or 5 months down the road or 6 months down the road. You don't know anybody of importance in their life. You don't know much more about them 6 months
Good point.
now
Because,
than you did
because
4
time
months ago.
time don't mean they've earned it. Just because you've been with them time, what has happened in the time? You may not know nothing still in the time.
You know just as much as you did the first week you met them and 4 or 5 months down the road.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
wow.
And you know what? If and you, they could be ready, but they're just not willing, or they're not able.
Mhm.
Or they can be willing, but they're not ready, and they're not able. They can be able, but they're not willing. So if you're missing one of those things, it the relationship becomes difficult. If you're
Yeah.
missing one, the relationship becomes difficult. If you're missing two, the relationship becomes exhausting. Sometimes you can just feel drained and exhausted in a relationship because you're giving so much and you're doing so much trying to make it work. And they say they're willing, but they're not able or they're not ready.
Yeah.
And if you're missing three of those things, you're trying to have a relationship with someone that is going to be
Yeah.
totally toxic if they're not ready, willing, and able.
Yeah. Wow.
So that is huge. So stop asking, uh, are you in love with me? Do you like me? Start looking for signs. And are they ready? Are they not? Are they willing? Are they able? They may say it, but what are their actions? Are they really, really too busy? They may want to, but they're too busy. They don't even have time for you. They don't have the effort for you. They're not consistent.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten over their ex. They're still texting her, stalking her Facebook page or his page, stalking him. If you're a guy and your girl is still talking about her ex, they're not ready. They're not willing if they refuse to be accountable. They refuse to just say they're ready to move into something consistent, or they're ready to be, you're the one, commitment in a commitment. They're not ready. So start looking and asking yourself, yeah, nice looking, says all the right things, but are they really ready, willing, and able?
And note that being ready isn't about finding the perfect person.
Mm-mm,
It's
mm-mm.
about, and we started with this, so I know we're getting close to time, but I want to say it's really about being the kind of person who recognizes a healthy relationship when it shows up,
Yep.
even if it doesn't arrive in the package that we expected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say it again, it really is about being the kind of person who recognizes a healthy relationship when it shows up in a package that we didn't expect it to show up in.
Yeah.
Because
Because
you can't, mhm,
because a healthy relationship requires that that person is ready, willing, and able. And when you're healthy, that means you're ready, willing, and able. And you're able to see when the person is not.
Yeah.
So I did put the link here for the queens that want to work on you and make sure you become the cake so that you are ready, willing, and able. Check it out. It's so worth it. It is so worth it, and pass it along. We've enjoyed this as we do every week. And we want to make sure that you all come back. Hopefully, you have a fantastic 4th of July weekend. Be safe, have a great time. And so, if this conversation spoke to you in any kind of way, and I know that it did because it was juicy, it was good, I want to make sure that you be sure to join Dating Differently, our Facebook page, subscribe to both of our YouTube pages, and follow us both on our social media platform. And join us next week as we continue giving you strategies to date with clarity, move with intention, choose with confidence. We look forward to continuing to help you love intentionally
Heal completely and date.
and date differently. Y'all have a blessed one.
Good night.